My name is Lonnie Reed. I'm the owner of the Reid Farm here in DeLand. We grow basically everything we can. And look at this thing. The color, like just rolling up this gorgeous bright pink flower. Where do you find a pink fuzzy banana? I had a kind of like realization years ago where I saw all the pieces of the puzzle. They were all in one general area on my farm, but nothing was connected. What I saw, I was like, oh, you're there, you're there. Well, like I heard the angels sing when I realized it could all go together.
This is spiral ginger. Pick the flower. You can eat it whole or you can suck on it to get the nectar. Nectar kind of tastes like sweet flowers. And look over there, wasps will hoard this stuff. So you want to be careful with that. Just when you're done with the nectar, chew on it. Cranberry hibiscus, also sour. When they're shriveled up like this, squeeze them and fingers are dyed blue.
Welcome to the Reid Farm, embracing the beautiful sunshine, I think. That's what it is. The farm loves the rain. Well, different things, different days. You got to embrace it all. The farm doesn't sleep, so I got to keep working. Rain or shine. And I tell you what, Mr. Puppy loves this rain. My name is Lonnie Reed. I'm the owner of the Reid Farm with my crazy son Jax here. My wife Kelly is inside. We started this place in 2014. We bought it in June. There was nothing here. It was just vines and trees and undergrowth and no food. I was sick. I had a lot of stomach problems, real bad, lots of heartburn and vomiting and nausea and just constantly sick. And I started to realize before we got this place that it was the food that was doing it to me, completely the food. Just there's some nasty things going on in the food system, and people that generally are not ready to embrace it until they get sick enough. You know, you change when the pain is great enough. For me, it was great enough. You know, it was that time. I had him. He was 2.5 years old. And I felt like I was dying. I was losing weight. Like right now I'm about 150 pounds and I was like 130. And I don't have a lot of weight on. I don't have a lot of fat on me. So to be 20 pounds lighter than I am now was a lot. So, you know, motivation for taking care of the baby boy is, and this guy. This guy is nuts. But I just had, you know, had to do it. I had to figure out how to make a living, work in the lands, and you know, they say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I realized I had this realization not too long ago, just really a couple weeks ago. It doesn't matter how much money I ever made, I would never stop doing what I did. There's no reason why. I mean, I still want this food. I want my homegrown food. I want my organic food that has nothing on it. So no matter what happens, I'm going to do this. This is till I die. So, you know, I didn't plan it that way, but the realization of I have landed where I need to be, for me, it's comforting. It's nice. It's like I found my purpose. Because I won't. So here's one nice bed. I love this. The use of trees. I had to take down some trees. I needed the sun. There was no sun in this place. So I took down this big tree. We dropped it before any of this was here. And the logs were so big, I didn't want to move them. So I took the tractor and I just kind of nestled them into place. And it became a garden bed. I smacked the cattle panel into it on either side. There's some big bench staples holding it into the logs. And this, the mushrooms that are growing off the side of this log, like my whole place is based on mushroom mycelium. It actually grew into the plant, and the plant has rooted into it. Like, that's fungus with plants in it. So I could pluck that out. It's rooted right into the fungi.
Wow.
So neat. So if you want to take that home, there's a plant. Dragon fruits, doing some different experiments. That one is Connie Mayer. Guy brought me that last year, traded me something for it, just brought me this one cutting, and it's going crazy. So I expect flowers shortly off of this one. It's a green fruit. It's a really neat looking fruit. That was already just a cutting from this year. I could pull more of these, but it's very happy right now. There's some yellow, there's some reds, there's some assorted varieties. This one's Haley's Comet. It needs a pollinator, and I have the universal pollinator. It hasn't grown up yet. I think this is a yellow. This is one of our favorites, the Suriname. Love the Suriname plant. That stuff just grows like crazy. Really nice. Nice green. It's always there. 12 months out of the year, it never goes away. 3 seeds to sell. Alright, this guy. This tree taught me a big lesson this year. This is Edwards mango. The Edwards, I really wanted to keep alive. I'm struggling every year to grow mangoes here, and I kill them every year because they freeze. It's just where I'm at. It gets super cold every year. There's mangoes close to here, but I just keep getting froze. So I had to come up with my own method. I had a big burn barrel right there, about 6-8 feet away from the mango tree. And there's a lychee opposite it. The lychee was okay, but it wasn't backed up by anything. This one had this Mexican sunflower, and the Mexican sunflower was grown up huge. And the heat bouncing off of that Mexican sunflower and having this mango in between, no problems. I didn't lose any, even lose a leaf. It had flowers, I didn't lose flowers. So as soon as I realized that would work, I started planting more Mexican sunflower around all my sensitives. I added more. That's a sweet tart, that's a fruit cocktail, then there's a lemon meringue, there's a longan right there, a star fruit beyond it. I've got one more mango is going to go in back there, and who knows how big that's going to get. I'm backing everything up with Mexican sunflower and bamboo, and then I'm going to set burn barrels right in the center of it. So I'm going to create a big wall on either side, and then I'm going to heat it up in the center. And I am going to have a mango grove in DeLand. Tell me I can't. There's something about it. Seems like jumping over the river. It's a little cooler over here. Lots of microclimates. There's good mango trees right here in Deltona. I mean, I know a bunch of people that have them, but for whatever reason, my property is low and icy cold. So make adjustments. I had all these guavas over here, and you see what happened to them. They got toasted. A lot of them are coming back. The Catleys did great. The Catley guavas laugh at it. Because it comes down off the hill. There's a high spot up there where it's warmer. That was the warmest spot. At like 6:30 in the morning, I was walking around with an infrared thermometer so I could see what was up. And the coldest spot was right down around the bottom of the hill, right where those Cherry of the Rio Grandes were. They didn't even drop a leaf. I was super impressed. Yeah, Cherry of the Rio Grandes, definitely.
Couldn't you see the ice creeping along?
Yeah, it was nuts. I heard it. It was like 6 a.m. on that one cold day. I looked out over the garden in the back, and I watched it freeze. Like I saw the grass and the weeds turn white, and I watched it crackle. It was so silent out here. It was crazy. My grandma's fig trees. Those are off cuttings off of trees that I grew or that I ate when I was like 10 in the Bronx. That's a cool story behind them, but they're fruiting like crazy. I ate those when I was like 10 years old, climbed these trees, and my grandpa was intrigued and asked his buddy, like, can we grow that? They were up in New Rochelle. His buddy got him a tree, made him a tree, gave him a tree. I don't know how it happened, but he ended up with one of those. It's a brown turkey. And he grew it for years, finally figured out how to get it growing, and they grew tons of figs. And my son's actually eaten off of that tree. Years later, we went up to visit. Then I moved down here, and Grandma came down with a pickle jar with 3 cuttings in it, rooted cuttings. And I planted them in my other house. That was back in like 2008. And then we moved over here and I took cuttings from it, and now it's over here. So exact genetic clones of the exact tree of the first fig I ever ate. I still have it and they're blowing up. I've got 2 trees, so that's my grandma and my grandpa. Grandpa has passed, grandma is still kicking, killing it. She's gonna be 99 this year, just sharp as a tack. Good diet. That's where a good portion of where I learned it from was watching my grandfather run the New York City Marathon in his 80s. My grandma being able to have like quantum physics conversation with her when she's 98 years old. You know, she's kept the brain sharp. They ate organic, they ate clean. Grandma figured it out before there was internet. So like they did a lot of reading and a lot of research, and Grandpa was an animal. 39 days short of 100 years old is when he passed. The Puerto Rican black beans, the big giant pods. Taylor Walker actually met this guy, a real knowledgeable guy. Have you met him?
I have, yeah.
He's super cool. He came down to the Florida Fruit Festival down at Scar's Farm a few months ago and just like spilled information on me about all these crops. Like gave me a whole bunch. We traded some stuff for some of the large leaf chaya, and he was telling me all about this bean and how when he found it and stuff. And I had like a half a pound or a pound of these gifted to me by someone I met at the Convergence. Skip, cool guy, came down and hooked me up. So we planted a lot of these, and the results are just ridiculous. The pods are so big. Like that's what I want to see. And that's not even a big one on the other end. These are just getting started. I planted way, way, way early. So they're just now really getting to flower and getting to climb up on this. But when I'm growing a bean, you know, for a dry bean, that's what I want to see. This is sustainable. This is food. Because I'll have enough seed to last me way next year. This is a 50-foot row, and there's more plants than I can count. We did that with the auto seeder, but there's a lot of food there and the potential for more, you know. Here's my tie. Yeah. I just tipped it. I tipped the whole thing. So, and now you can see here, here comes flush number 2. I tipped like everything. Did a little experiment here where someone mentioned defoliate the entire branch and see if, and it should fruit real hard. It mimics winter, and then it realizes, wait a minute, it's not winter, it's warm out. Like, I fully expect this branch, once racked out with fruit, she's gonna be down here. And they're so flexible. I mean, that's how they're made. I mean, this will be down to here with fruit. Right now, she's 10 feet in the air. Here's our little guava city. Jackson's friend Lisa painted that, quite artsy. Here's the Cattleya guavas. Very, very happy with this plant. I have a whole bunch of these. I have like 6 of these on the property. They produce heavily. Cold did not affect them. As cold as it was cooking our plants here, cold just didn't bother them. It seems to be like a 5-year cycle where it gets really bad. We get one real bad year, like 2017. We call it Farmageddon, when we lost everything. I had so much stuff. I had big sugar apple tree with fruit all over it and just gone. And this year, it regrew 5 years later. Set like 80 fruits a couple of years ago, and this past season, gone. That's a bummer. So here's a new bed that I just did. This is my agroforestry style inverted hugelkultur setup that I'm just doing like a northern version. This is more of a cold tolerant. Like my friend Jay Reynolds down in Bokeelia, he's got an awesome farm. Amazing guy, brilliant guy. I learned a lot from him. But he has his whole place set up agroforestry style with these mounds and planting them, you know, systematically planting them. Large trees, lower level, bananas interplanted, and ground covers, and it's just like the full system. And it's the most effective way I've seen to produce food. A lot of food in a very small area. So this is my first one that I've finally gotten to build here on the farm, because we just throw stuff in as often as we can, and I've had to clear so much land that I clear a little bit and get a garden in, and clear a little bit and get a garden in. So I finally had the chance here to like do what I wanted to do. But this is my cold tolerant bed. Got a mulberry that I just put in. It's already ripping. That's that tie. You can see kind of how aggressive it gets. So I'll let these finish out and just taste these fruits, because you can't have too many of them. So we got the Thai mulberry, cold tolerant, dwarf Orinoco, Aki. That's the SH3640. Taylor just did a video on this, actually, just the other day, or a write-up on it, and I was so psyched. My friend Eli brought me that. So really, really happy to have that plant. That's nectarine. I've had really good success with nectarines here. I'll show you the big tree in the back. So that had to be part of my system. A raza, one of the Eugenias. I grow a bunch of Eugenias. That's Eugenia stipitata. Some watermelons, some orange flesh watermelons. Tons and tons and tons of peppers. We have a thing for hot peppers. I do love my hot peppers. Puerto Rican black beans are getting a little aggressive. Really, this pile is what was here. I laid chips down a couple of years ago when I initially cleared this. I laid down chips and let them break down. They were like that deep, and then they turned to what you see here now, which is pretty broken down, but it's dark and it's rich, and there's some good nutrition in the soil. It's not ideal, it's not where I want it yet, but it's getting there. And then I piled it up, so I scraped all of this and I just pushed it all up into a mound, and then I top it with like a good bed of mulch, and it'll break down. This was just done. Like I just put this in maybe a month ago. That's a Cherry of the Rio Grande. That might be a Calacino. This is a Brazilian gold papaya. My friend Tyler brought me that one. Got it through the winter. Seems to be wanting to hang on. Papayas are rough. They all taste kind of cukey. So I'm ever on the search for a papaya that I'll enjoy right now. Oh, here we go. We're getting flowers. That's awesome. This is looks like a reticulata leaf. It could be. My mom ate this fruit in some undisclosed country and managed to get some seeds to me. I did get a bunch of them mature, and obviously we're there, so maybe we'll get some fruit this year. Let's go into greenhouse. Greenhouse is fun. Can't grow jackfruit. I freeze them off every year, so I put it in here. I'm getting flowers. I'm getting male flowers, so it's growing. Got my Cecropia. This is the star. This is the one tree. I told you I only had one available. This one. I couldn't sell it because this one was on TV. So I took it, I planted it. I figured this would be my tree that I work off of, that I propagate off of. And you just walk underneath there. There's fruits galore.
So what's your process for getting those seeds to germinate?
Squirt them into a cup of water, take an eyedropper, suck the seeds up, and drop them. They gotta be on the surface. They have to be exposed to light. If they're not exposed to light, they don't germinate. I found that they need to dry, and then they germinate a little faster, but I just did a bunch. They're laying over here. I did them the other day. Elmo, come have some fruit. Yeah, eat the yummy cherries. Yeah. You stepped on them. You gotta learn to eat all the cherries. Eat the cherries. There you go. Good boy. I want him doing it. I think it's cool. Ben does it. Ben will run around here and pick. You know, it's farm. Everything that lives here and works here should be able to eat here. Especially them. He's gonna guard it. What's he guarding? He's guarding his food. He'll know if there's something in here. Get away from my food. Yeah, I do love this tree. I planted this in July last year. Yeah, it was probably that thick at the trunk, the bottom. And now it's... I actually air layered it. I had it set, you can see it right here. That was my original air layer right there. I had one set there, and I had one on this branch somewhere, and I had one I think a little bit higher over here. And I had air layered the whole thing. I was just gonna like take a whole bunch of branches off of it, and I'm like, you know, I feel like I need to leave this tree exactly how it was and just put it in the ground. So I just stripped the air layers off of it, let it heal back up. It had root, they all rooted, and I just left it. Thought it was cool. Here's my miracle leaf. If you ever get kidney issues, this is the answer. This is like some of the best medicine you can get. Rhiophyllum pinnatum. The research is there. You can look it up. It's valid. I've used it. I'm improving my dad's kidney functions with it. It's all there. You just eat it. It's in the Calancho family. Has been known to help people sleep. Just 15 minutes or so before you go to bed. Just eat one, you doze off. It's helped me, it's helped my dad, my son's done it. Lots of other people. So a leaf fell off of this tree, right? And it just sprouts. That's from a piece of leaf. As soon as it hits the ground, like this leaf, I'll lay right here. I'll just lay it on the dirt, and it'll start to grow roots right out of the bottom of the leaf. It's the craziest thing. Right there, hanging off the side. Here's where I got a lot of cool things happening. And you can really see the benefits of the hugelkultur style bed, like the agro bed. I did little mini agro beds in here. Just look at this soil right here. Like right under here, I just piled up sand, white sand, that came out of the hole that the pond's ended. Now it's been sitting here for a few months, and this is just mulch. But it gets watered every day. See what's happened to it. There's the beginning of the sand, but that mulch is just breaking down, and it's slowly seeping its way down there and starts to enrich the soil. You see how deep I had to get to find that sand? It's already seeped its way down. It's already doing its thing. So it'll feed all these trees. This is a little soursop, little ever-bearing soursop, coconut that won't grow here. Little grass, little jabuticaba grass. That's a little red. But I did find out that you can take a Suriname cherry and graft the Tangatuba. It's actually right at your foot. You can put a Tangatuba on Suriname cherry, and it works. And that's off fruiting trees that are right over there. So that should take a lot faster. So here I got a Caimito, the star apple, green star apple. This one flowered a little bit last year. It's just kind of like a test flowering, it seemed. So I might get, it might flower this year. These are Chempajack. It's Chempadac and jackfruit hybrid. This is a big Bignay tree. Throws off these big panicles of berries. A little tart, but real good antioxidants and neat tree. Here's a soursop. This is the regular one, Muricata, that I'm trying to keep within range and keep it small and manageable. Here's a rose apple. I keep smoking these off every year, so we're trying again. Here's a mamey. Mamey sapote. It's one of my favorite fruits. They're so good. Here's the mountain soursop, Anona Montana. Real good medicine there. Cancer medicine. I'm working on some of my friends. I got a couple friends with breast cancer that I'm feeding that to pretty regularly. And so far, good results. I mean, is it working? Is it hurting? It ain't hurting. That's right. So keep going with it. Here's the yellow Montingia. They really grow very quickly. This is star gooseberry. That's getting so big. I keep topping it and it keeps just blowing up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know what it tastes like. I haven't had it. I don't care. I want it all. I want everything. This is super cool though. Pop back here. They're hiding well. Wow. This is the Velutina pink banana. They're so cool. Second bloom is coming out in the other tree. Check this guy out. I know, isn't it? It's amazing. The fact that there's stuff that looks like this. Where do you find a pink fuzzy banana? And look at this thing. The color, like just rolling up this gorgeous bright pink flower. It is so cool. So there's the beginning of them bananas. Little bitty bananas right there. I don't know how far along. This is my first rack that I've produced, but it's a seedy banana. This is a bunch of the cubos. This was last year when it froze. We took all the big trees we had and I cut everything off and ripped them out of the ground and we just chucked them in the greenhouse and waited a couple weeks until it was all done. Then we pulled them all out, started cutting them all up, and I had my buddy just come back here and he shoved all of them in the ground. And every one of them too. So now we have a little forest of Ibica. Here's a bunch of propagation, a bunch of mulberry trees. These are all Thai. All my Thai everbearing, because it's the greatest tree. A whole bunch of goldfinger bananas we just did.
You mean Pa just did?
Yeah. No, actually, Denise did those.
Oh.
My dad, old Pa, did you get Pa on video yet? Let's go get my dad doing what he does. Hey Pa, coming to get you on video.
Going to get me on video?
Part of the game. This is my dad. He's the nursery manager. You get another 50% raise today.
Oh, great. Wow, because I'm going to be on film.
Yeah, 50% raise. Every day he gets a 50% raise.
Yeah, 50% of nothing is nothing.
50% of free rent is free rent.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, right? 50% better than nothing.
But he gets to...
I do a lot of the up-potting and the seeding, and there I am. And I'm up-potting right now. These are what, Lonnie?
You tell me.
I have no idea.
Those are figs. Those are figs.
I have no idea. You just give him stuff and he does it.
Those are mission
Said
figs.
no, doesn't care, but it gets done. And
Mission figs.
all those mulberries, he just needs something to do.
Oh, my, I did mulberries, boy.
Lots of mulberries.
Plenty of mulberries.
So the neat thing about what we've done here in the last, like, what's it been, 6 months, 7 months?
Yeah.
Dad had a stroke. It's been 5 years, 6 years?
6 years ago.
6 years ago, had a stroke and was a bit heavier. So he's been living here since November, since Thanksgiving, right at Thanksgiving. And his A1C has dropped 1.5 points. His kidney function has improved 50%. He's lost like 40 pounds. Like, his doctor is going, how is this possible? Watch the meds fall away. You know, a 75-year-old guy who had a stroke should not be getting healthier, should not be improving according to the medical system, but eat a bunch of good food and work in nature and just stay busy. It's proof's in the pudding. The numbers keep coming back and they keep improving with each blood test. They keep getting better.
Yeah, we're gonna get my last 2 sets of blood analysis, and we're going to compare them and just see exactly what happened and what meds I might be able to drop away now that
All. All. That's the goal. No meds. No reason for it. Like yesterday, he's on blood pressure medication. Keep his blood pressure down. His blood pressure was like 85/60 yesterday.
something like that. Yeah.
We don't need that anymore because the diet has improved and there's good things coming in. So it's working.
You know, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a
Yes.
normal, everyday, habitual take
It's a
your meds.
lifestyle.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
key.
And that's what it took, is the actual transition to a lifestyle. Him living here, as opposed to just being here a lot, was the difference. I mean, he was improving, we were getting there, but now just being here, it's like, it's what's for dinner? All this homegrown stuff. You're gonna just get healthier just by being here. So I took that nutrition counseling course years ago, and no one cares. They don't care until it hurts enough. But I figure if I can show them the actual numbers on paper, which is really exciting to have my first patient, you know, Dr. Farmer, but really like have his numbers. Like, here's the legit numbers. He had them done right before he moved in here. So we have those numbers, and now we have 6 months later's numbers, and now there's gonna be another batch 4 months later or 3 months later. So we're gonna do a comparison. I'm gonna have all the paperwork, like legit stuff. And we really get to see what can a farm diet do for you when it's organic and clean. And we're gonna do YouTube on that. We've got a YouTube channel. Can I plug my own YouTube channel?
Absolutely.
The Reid Farm. Just, we're the Reid Farm on YouTube. I tried to make everything just the Reid Farm. Website, Facebook, everything. This thing just keeps coming back every year. I have nothing to do with it. Here's another one of these Catleys. This is my bigger, most mature Catley guava. This is the yellow one. Loads up with beautiful fruits every year. And here's where my banana chaos starts. This one's Mona Lisa. That is dwarf Brazilian. These are blue Java, the actual real blue Java. There's that whole, you know, about the thing with the blue Java and the Namois and the ice cream and the whole, what a mess. What a mess. There's distinct differences in these plants. They grow very differently. So on the Namois, the ones that everyone's buying, ice cream bananas, if you look at these younger leaves, there's this really bright, distinct pink rim that grows. I mean, this kind of has it, I guess, but it's not pronounced like on the ice cream. When you see the fruit, it's super obvious. They don't look anything alike. But, you know, someone sees a name tag on it, that's it. I'm sold, I'm convinced. But you can tell the difference. I mean, they're shriveled up, but they don't look like what you've seen as ice cream banana. They will be fused. There's a distinct knuckle and then a separation. You can see how each fruit is distinctly separate. And in fact, the one that's called ice cream banana that I bought, that said blue Java ice cream banana on the pot that I bought, that was a tissue culture. This doesn't tissue culture. They just keep crashing. So if you don't have individual fruits separately hanging from your main stem, it's not blue Java. It's ice cream, Namois, call it what you want. But I have a bunch of these. That's why I'm creating this little grove here. So I'll have a lot of them, and then I'll hopefully have fruit kind of like all the time. So there'll always be something hanging so I can say, look, this is what it actually looks like. So here's my praying hands. These are all praying hands along here, all started from 2 little tissue culture plants. And I've just grown them and grown them and grown them. Awesome fruit. I just put a couple of cocoa plums back there, hoping they'll work. And there's a Pitomba back there, the Swiss cheese plant, that people call it, the Monstera. This one is the African giant banana, Kindarian. It takes 3 years to get it to actually fruit, but then once you get your progression growth, I've never dug a pup off of it. I just leave them so I can consistently have more fruit, but it's good fruit. It's just super, super tall. I measured out a piece of bamboo and it was 35 feet, and I stuck it right next to the praying hands and it was just above it. So they're reaching 30 feet. And the Kindarian will usually outgrow it by a couple of feet. Here's praying hands, some nice fruit. That's a big, those will be really big, the first piece. I got it. And generally you don't have to prop them, that just happened to be back here. That's a really awesome plant to grow. I'm really, really happy with that. Pomegranates. I hear all the time, people are always telling me you can't grow pomegranates. You can't grow a pomegranate, it ain't gonna work. growing for years. I don't do anything to it. I can't even claim responsibility for it. I planted it and I let it go. You know what? Maybe I can. There's one thing I did. Lollipop. One straight stalk, because they love to throw suckers. Because if I have one over here, I'm letting it, trying something different with it, but definitely went with one straight stalk, and it started to fruit. That one pomegranate that I'm just starting to play with, and see like how much they want a sucker. Like these things, and I could probably root those too. I don't know what variety this is. I have to ask Dr. Steph if she can find her original. Like I could probably get all those to root. They do root pretty easily. I might even be able to get it to do it like that. But they sucker. You see all of these? They just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. They don't stop. So I'm trying to stay on top of this one. This one was a tissue culture. This one's been in a pot for a while. I just put it in the ground. Went right through the cold. Did fine. Pomegranate's a solid plant. It's super cold tolerant. Just made to grow here. Loves this climate. I figure it's like there's a bunch of Russian varieties, so they can deal with the cold. So I figured they wouldn't really want to get completely blasted with full sun. So kind of picked this spot. This is Vietnamese red, and we're looking really good. I got a bunch of fruit set. These look really nice. Those are set. It did a little test flower last year, and it flowered once. It dropped the fruit. There's another one here. But what is interesting is that it didn't flower really that much on this side. There's one flowered over here. Most of it was away from the sun. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but all of my flowers were on that side of the tree. And my Tindora, have you heard of Tindora? So many people, I hear them all the time. Oh, I hate it, it takes over. Good.
Yeah, it's food, man.
Yeah, let it take over. I want it to take over. And I guess you could call it invasive tendencies, but I don't know. I don't have any problem controlling it.
Yeah.
And it's been right here. The mother root is like right down here. I got the mother root from Grower Jim years ago when we first got here. He posted a picture of it. And I saw that picture and something about it was just like, you have to have that. It's so cool. Oh yeah, nice little fruit. That's a young one. They'll get like very cucumber-like. And then you catch them when they have that little bit of orange inside and they're a little sour. That's right where I like it. Like here's the ube. This is Dioscorea alata. The winged yam. If you look, it's an air potato. And everyone gets scared of air potato, but look at that leaf. It's very unique. It's not the standard round leaf that you see growing up the trees. Also, look at the vine. You see why it's called winged. It's got a bunch of wings off the side of the vine. The invasive one, the one that tears everything up, is round. Skinny and round. It's nothing like this. Here's a bunch of black-eyed peas we just put in from the store. Just went to the store and grabbed a bag of black-eyed peas and run them in. They are very willing to grow. That's all kale seed. My Jax comes out here and he likes to chaos plant. I'll give him like a bucket of whatever. You know, here I got piles of seed, and he'll just go. He likes to grab handfuls and spin around like a sprinkler and throw seeds. We had this whole thing was full of like kale and bok choy and all this stuff. It's awesome. I love that he does it, and then we get to eat. This is a golden jubilee, I believe. That's what it looks like. Great tomatoes. That's watermelon beefsteak. You can see that watermelon coloring starting to come through. This is all just a pile of overstock, more and more of the mulberry trees. Ackies, white sapotes, wax jambus, tangatubas, patombas. This is big starfruit flowering out. It's overflowed, I believe, a little bit. We had heavy rain, but the fishies should be happy. Small fishies. barrel was already made, and the harvester is on the opposite side. This was really made for a different situation.
Okay.
But this one is made for this, where I can get some good gack at the bottom, and then I can come over here and I can harvest it into a bucket and then take it to the field and go fertilize trees. But that's like a more of a get it out of here kind of a, for me, where I'm at right now with this is I just want to get this established. It's been years since I've done it. I had it in the boat a long time ago, and it worked well. It was just above ground. And then as soon as it hit like 40 degrees, tilapia died. They just can't take it. So I started filling this with getting the lava rock in just yesterday, really. So we got some work to do. Considering piping some water, like pumping some water out into the sun, and just having it go out and somehow returning them back in the pond. So there is a large full circle system that this is part of, and I've been waiting to set this system up for a while as I've kind of been building it in my head. It involves this, it involves worms, azola, black soldier fly larvae, rabbits, fish. I mean, there's this big circle, and now I think where I'm at basically is I have to scale each part of it. I needed to get this set up. This is the most complicated part. So now that this is set up, I can start adding the other pieces to it and scale it, get the soldier fly larvae at the right level, because they'll self-harvest right into the water. I can have the bins right on the edge of the pond, and the soldier fly larvae just jump right in. They'll crawl right up the pipe and dive in, and the tilapia will spend their day right there. They'll just sit there looking up. It's the craziest thing, because the larvae is just such a rich food source, high protein. I don't have to do anything but harvest fish, and the fish that I take out, the bodies that are left, like the head, the bones and stuff, I just throw it back in the soldier fly bin.
Right.
They devour it, create more larvae go in, and it's just, the cycle continues. As long as I can feed enough things, harvest enough animals, like if we're gonna harvest any kind of meat, you know, some of that goes into the soldier fly system. It helps to feed this, which is gonna help to feed the vegetables, which is gonna feed us, which we can feed back to the animals. So I kind of like realization years ago where I saw all the pieces of the puzzle. They were all in one general area on my farm, but nothing was connected. But I was like, oh, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. And it was all like I heard, you know, the angels sing when I realized it could all go together. And now if I get it right, it should be a closed loop system where I should not have to add anything outside. I just have to scale it. So I'm excited to get this part flowing because this was the monster. So my name is Lonnie Reed. I'm the owner of the Reid Farm here in DeLand. We grow basically everything we can, as long as it's edible, medicinal, useful, pollinator, animal food, something of the sort, fertilizer, a bunch of different. I thought, like, what were people doing 100 years ago for food? How were they eating? Where'd they find everything? There was no grocery store. Publix didn't exist. So where was everyone getting their food from? And at the same time, I don't remember there being a whole lot of prescriptions and diseases and all that stuff. People were still living nice long lives. So that's kind of where my thought process started on how to build this place up. And the fact that I was real sick, just lots of nausea, heartburn, constant heartburn. If anyone has constant heartburn, I promise you something's wrong. That is not a normal condition. Although we seem to have been led to believe that. But it's not. It's not the way it's supposed to be. And I did years. I mean, Pepsids, Prilosec, Xant, all of them. I took them all. And I don't take them at all, ever, anymore. And I don't have heartburn, ever, at all, anymore. I dove in deep into the science of everything. And I'm not sick anymore. I took some nutrition counseling courses. I had to get better because I have a kid to raise. I have a wife, I have a family. Now my dad lives here. So I feel like I owe it to my family to figure it out. And I was going to doctors. Take this pill, take that pill. I remember this one question. I remember this moment. First doctor I went to, and I started really being nauseous a lot. I he's like, all right, we're going to put you on this thing and see how you do. And I said, how long am I going to have to be on this? And his answer was, that was it. He just stood there in his office. I don't know. And I took that pill for a few months, 3 months maybe. And then I couldn't get it. Insurance changed, whatever it was, I couldn't get it. And I freaked out. Oh, I need this stuff. Was it really helping? I don't think it really was, because I didn't really feel any better. But it had my brain thinking like, I need this stuff. And if that freaked me out more than the fact that I got freaked out that I couldn't get the medicine, I'm like, they got me. They got me. They got me on the like just on the payroll. And I'm like, no, not okay with this. And that was kind of the beginning of it, and the beef recall and all that stuff. The 8 billion pound beef recall, and how we found that we should be raising our own meat. And I started eating lettuce. We talked about that earlier. Just basic vegetables, gentle stuff to my stomach. And I started to add in vegetables, because I could think, you know, what's the most gentle thing you can take in? Like mashed potatoes are nice. Lettuce is pretty gentle. And I just went in that direction. And as I added vegetables, I never got sick. I didn't get heartburn. I didn't get upset. And then when I started to add in anything processed at all, like even close, even heavily sprayed crops like the wheat, any of the grains are so heavily sprayed, desiccated in order to dry them out for harvest and all that. It's awful. But then I took this course. I took this nutrition counseling class. What was that? Probably 4 years ago. And I got a bunch of the science down, and I started to learn about everything. And through all of that nutrition counseling and learning the biology and the science and the delivery systems and everything that we need to know about nutrition, I tried to explain this to people, and you watch their heads explode. So I came up with, if it has an ingredients list, don't eat it. And it's that simple. It really is that simple. If it has an ingredients list, don't eat it. And you're back to basics. You're back to the caveman diet, the way we should be eating. And that's what I do. I cheat. Sure, I cheat. We all cheat. I mean, we're still living in 2022. So this place has grown. You know, it's been born out of necessity, like everything. And I didn't want to do this. My first garden was right back here in that corner. It was the only spot that we had any sun at. And I remember walking back here, I had no idea what I was doing. I had grown some stuff, you know, as a kid, and here and there, planted a plant here, a plant there, but you know, I didn't really consider growing my food. And when we first got this place, in that shop, there was a bag of 10-10-10, high yield 10-10-10, and it was like half open. And I remember it going, okay, today's the day, start the garden. And I'm gonna go back to the sunny spot, and I'm gonna pull some weeds out of the way, and I'm gonna get to it. And I grabbed that bag of fertilizer, and I made it somewhere back to about here. And I stopped, and I'm holding it, and I'm like, is this how I wanna start? I mean, that's the exact thought I had. Is this how I want to start this place? And at that moment, like it was 8 years ago, I'm standing here going, am I being ridiculous? I'm probably being ridiculous. Who does this? Like, don't be stupid. Use the fertilizer. It's fine. But I felt like if I started it like that, I was going to continue it like that. And then I was going to go deeper into it. And then I'm going to fall into the trap of growing the food exactly what I'm trying to get away from. So I turned around, I walked back up to the garbage can, and I threw it away. And I walked back out here, and I went, now I have no idea what to do. I'm clueless. So I pulled some weeds, I chopped down some trees, you know, some little stuff, and I cleared myself a little spot, and just started digging, started researching, started planting, started killing stuff. Killed a lot of stuff. I'm still killing stuff. I kill stuff all the time. I'm better now. I can keep a lot of stuff alive now. I'm pretty good propagating and keeping stuff going, but I still kill plenty of things. I kill trees. Pakistani mulberry I really wanted to grow, dead as a doornail. Just pulled it out like a month ago. Whatever. Keep killing it. if I kill stuff, I know how not to do that. And that's been the entire learning experience of this entire place. Kill it, and I know not to do that. And then I'm gonna kill it again, and then I know not to do that. And then I'll kill it again, and then I'll know not to do that. Gets expensive, but propagation is good, because then you can keep killing stuff.